News Talk 640 WFNC. I'm just watching Paul kind of bouncing his head to the music. Paul Wolverton, how are you, sir?
Classic song. I'm doing well.
Yeah, you know that song?
It sounds. I couldn't hear it.
I like you.
Okay. I say our setup in here doesn't allow me to hear it as well because I'm not wearing headphones, but I kind of caught the beat in the background.
All right. Well, I got all three of us on camera right now. Matt Henney, you're the managing editor. Editor-in-chief?
Editor-in-chief.
There you go.
A grumpy one because there's no donuts.
The donuts are now the block. You blame that on Kenny. Look, Kenny's taking his headphones off. He looks like he's getting ready to make a run down the block here to get you a donut,
We'll
Matt.
pick up the Krispy Kreme or the Dunkin'.
These two individuals are involved with news of CityView magazine. Oh, no, CityView? Or
Something.
CityView is, we got a website, we got a magazine, we got an email newsletter, we got it all.
But, I saw that real pretty thing, the magazine.
Oh, with the new, the love issue.
Yeah, I mean, so there's the magazine, and then give us the breakdown. Matt, you're in charge. Give us the breakdown of what you got.
We've got a monthly magazine, and so the March one will be coming out here pretty quickly.
Now, what is it called? Is it called
CityView?
CityView?
CityView magazine. Yeah.
It's called CityView magazine. And then, Paul, who do you work for?
I work for it all. I mean, sometimes I write for the magazine, sometimes mostly I write for the Daily News website and the email newsletter, but some of my articles will get republished in the magazine, and sometimes I even write articles specifically for the magazine.
All right, so look, let's make sure I'm straight here because I haven't been straight. I mean, I'll see, what do I see? What do you have physically that you print?
The magazine.
The magazine is what you print. Then the other CityView, CityView is online.
Here's the cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And we have a email newsletter goes out 6 days a week, but we can print that out for you if you'd like that.
I know a former lawmaker who, very older guy, old school. His assistant printed out all of his emails.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh. Okay. No names.
I don't want to, unfortunately, embarrass him. He's owned up to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Well, look, you sent me a flood of stuff. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff that you guys have been covering since the last time you've been here, and some very, very big and important stories that you want to discuss today. And how many reporters do you have?
3.
We have 3. Yes,
yeah.
3 reporters and a magazine editor.
And we also have a lot of freelance writers though too, who help us with like the coverage in Hope Mills and Spring Lake and so on.
All right. Well, Paul, you bring up your computer and everything, and I don't want to call out something that you don't have ready. So what do you have ready that you want to talk about?
The first thing I have ready is one I forgot to send you. We talk about the election in Godwin, where they're talking about having to do it over because the town clerk possibly unlawfully contacted voters to tell them who to vote for on election day.
Well, they went. He sued and he won the case.
No, it's not over.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was the latest development was that it came back to it went to the State Board of Elections. The county rejected the candidate Dennis Smith Sr. He's the candidate who's challenging the outcome of the election, and he went to the county board. The county board said no. We appealed to the state board. State board said, yeah, you do have a case. Sent it back to the county board. The county board looked at it and said, yeah, you really do have a case. And they're sending it back to the State Board of Elections, which actually has the power to make a decision as to whether to hold a new election. And that hearing is going to be at 9 a.m. On Wednesday, the 25th. And those who are interested can go to the State Board of Elections website and watch it online.
Well, that is a pretty big development there. We thought, you think about these small elections, it's not that big a deal, but just a handful of votes can make a difference.
It was 5 votes. 5 votes between him and the next candidate up on the ballot.
Yeah, and so that one is going to go back.
Well, it depends on what the Board of Elections decides on Wednesday.
Okay.
And if they do decide to hold a new election, it's probably going to be held, again, just for the town of Godwin, which is a small town to the northeast of Fayetteville, like 160 residents, 45 people voted in the election. That would probably be held on the date of the second primary, which would be May 12th.
Matt, you're new to the area. Where'd you come from?
Austin, but much of my career was in Atlanta.
And you're learning this area as you go around. You hear these little towns and things like that. What goes through your head when you see some of the stuff that your organization is covering?
Oh, I'm glad we're out there covering it because a lot of this stuff nobody else is. So we're able to cover it and bring it to our readers in Cumberland County.
Yeah, what's been the biggest story that you've said, hey, we really need to get on top of?
I think there's a lot going on with the county school system. They're in the midst of addressing, trying to right-size their schools and deal with dwindling enrollment across the system, and that's causing some issues. So they're looking at closing some schools, consolidating some others, ending their year-round calendar, and so that's riled up a lot of families who are concerned about their neighborhood schools.
All right, Paul, what story did you have up on your computer? So I don't want to mess you up here.
Well, I got several. We have some coverage of that situation with the year-round schools that Deja Williams, our education reporter, wrote about. She went to I guess they called a town hall type meeting on Thursday, and families and community advocates came out to talk about the transition of E.E. Miller from a year-round calendar to a traditional calendar, and it was a 5-4 vote by the Board of Education. But a lot of the parents, they really like the year-round schools, and they're very upset that this is happening.
Well, when you get on a certain schedule in terms of vacation and how you make things, how you do the holidays and everything, that is a big deal. And it's just like just a couple of weeks shift, but it makes all the difference in terms of family planning for the whole year.
Well, I think on top of that, I think a lot of parents just feel like the year-round calendar might be better for their children for just learning. That some kids, I guess they don't like having the long summer break between grades, and they feel like if the kids are in a more regular, more rhythm of, you're on for a little bit and then you're off for a little bit, that it might help the kids just retain the knowledge better.
Well, you would think that would be the argument, so that would be the system for all schools all the time, but that's not the case.
Well, Americans like their summer vacations, and I think the summer vacation largely developed from the days when we were largely a farming country, and the families needed the kids off for the summer so they could help work the farm.
Well, but that would be the case down here in the South. I'm from Philadelphia. We didn't have any farms up there. I went to pick tomatoes one time. You got on the bus. Matt, you ever do any of that to go
pick tomatoes?
Whatever, pick anything.
I enjoyed my summers and wandering around unsupervised and having my whole day to just go wander around.
Yeah, well, Gen X gets to go everywhere, and the current generations have to stay inside on their devices.
We didn't have any devices.
No.
Back then, I had rocks. We
had
played with rocks.
So you were in Philly, so you were like cracking open fire hydrants and like...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's right. We opened the fire hydrant, put your butt up to it, and it... And then the cars would come by, and we let the car come by. But as soon as you got the car, we put the butt up there, went the car. I should be in jail. But anyway, but the point of making up in Philly, they had you had Jersey, you had the Jersey farms over there, and so what they would do is they would bring a bus into Philadelphia, and then if you would get on the bus, and Matt, you're laughing here, but I'm telling you, this is a true story. You get on the bus, and you would go over to Jersey, and you pick tomatoes. And the thing was, pick them bushes clean and your money will be green. Right? So I'm a young guy.
Good summer job for you, then, huh?
Well, I don't know about summer job. I only did it one time. And let me tell you why. I went over. Have you ever picked tomatoes or anything?
I've gone to strawberry farms and picked strawberries. I've picked blueberries.
Kenny,
you pay to do that.
Kenny, you're a farmer kind of guy. I got you on screen here.
Yes.
Are you an expert in doing any of that, picking or anything?
I am an expert at growing and picking maters. That we call them maters.
Maters.
Big old mater sandwiches, man.
Yeah, but
with
you just had a little farm, right? You mean just a little patch?
It was enough to grow 300 ears of corn. 300 and lots of so I know Better Boys, I know heirloom tomatoes. There's a big variety, so you just don't say I can see you up in Philly, hey, what's this red thing hanging down?
After that you're off the screen. Okay,
I think in a few months Kenny's going to be bringing in the tomato sandwiches with mayonnaise.
Look, let me share this story, guys. You're taking me off track here in my Philadelphia story. So we got up early at dark 30 and we got on the bus and we went over to Jersey to pick the tomatoes. I mean, it's like as far as you can see, there's tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I said,
in Jersey. I didn't know they grew anything in New Jersey.
Sure.
Chris Christie.
Yeah. So what exit do you live on? I don't know what exit we got. Somebody tells me it's from Jersey. I say, what exit? Because they don't know about towns. I'm on exit 63 or whatever. I'm then 73 near Malton. Okay, all right. But look, that aside, I go out to the farm, right? And they give you 20 cents a basket. I mean, you know how many tomatoes you have to pick? They fill a bushel of baskets. And it was this guy who was like a professional. He's down the line. I'm picking up 1, 2, 3. And they say, it's time for lunch. I said, okay. And so they get you lunch. I got me a liverwurst sandwich and a liverwurst sandwich, a Coke, and something else, you know. I said, great, man, I ate my lunch. And so finally, after all day being out there, it's time to get paid. Now, I didn't pick that many bushes, you know, I picked as many as a North Philadelphia guy could pick. Mm-hmm. And then they had me, get ready to hand me my money. Oh, they said, wait a minute, you had the liverwurst sandwich, the Coke and such and such.
They deducted it?
I made $1 in that day because of the liverwurst sandwich and everything. And there's other guys walking away with $40-50. You know, so anyway, I'll never pick them.
I guess the other guys didn't eat any sandwiches.
They were the smart ones. They bought their own stuff.
Did you go back the next day?
I never went back again in my life.
Grapes of Wrath. Read it sometime.
Well, you know, around here also a lot of kids in the past would also work like the tobacco farms.
Oh, tell me about that. You know, picking tobacco is what they called it.
Yeah. Yeah, topping the tobacco and then later pulling the leaves. Early in the season, they'd be riding on the planters. I did that once for a story. I wrote on a planter and put the little plants in the machine and it rolled them into the ground. I did one row.
You did? Yeah. I had a father-in-law who was in his 90s. He told me when he was a young kid, he was smart one. He was the one that got on top of the truck so they can toss the stuff up. He didn't get dirty. But, why do they call them the Tar Heels? I mean, that's a nasty mess dealing with that. Have you ever, Kenny, I'm bringing you back up. You're a farmer kind of guy. You ever pick any tobacco?
No, I just watched my uncle do it.
Okay.
When I was younger, I smoked some tobacco, but we won't go into that.
All right, Kenny, you're back off screen.
Thank you.
He always goes off cue on me.
I'm sorry.
All right, well, look, this was the East Miller element of this, but the other part of this is, and I talked to the mayor about this because he's a graduate of E.E. Smith. They've decided to spend $150 million to build a new E.E. Smith. They don't have 100 acres like they have when you build into Jack Britt, so you can't spread out. It's landlocked over there in Bordell, and so you're going to have to go up. And I don't know about you, in Philly, my high school, Olney High, was 5 stories high. We had 18 high schools. I had 5,000 students in my high school and about 1,000 freshmen. So, I mean, schools in the big cities like that are used to this.
Not even, when I was growing up, I was in Charleston, West Virginia, and I went to a private school. It was in downtown Charleston, and the middle school, we called it a junior high back then, and then the high school, they were multiple story buildings on city blocks. I mean, it's not strange. I guess it's unusual around here to have a school be more than 1 story tall, but it's not unusual in the world.
No. How about for you, Matt? You're a multi-level school, or
no? I went to school in Savannah, and it was many buildings spread across a campus.
Well, the pot here is going to be that if they're going to build this here and really do an update, it's going to have to go up. I don't know how many stories, but it's going to go up, and it will be, I guess, one of the few multi-level schools. It's going
to be a logistical challenge. I mean, they're on a 27-acre campus now, and so they're going to build a high school. I haven't seen plans to know what they're going to do with the existing school and students while they build it, but it's a tight space to put in a modern-day high school.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. We're going to get some folks from the Board of Education to talk about that. Look, we're going to take a break right now because you have other stories that we're going to talk about. I'm not going to give up my tomato farming. I took up all the time talking about farming back here in North Philly. I think I was they had me. $1 all day out there? Shoot, okay. Hey, you're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got local news right now from CBS 17.
I used to eat liverwurst as a kid and buy it in the little...
Good morning from the CBS 17 newsroom. I'm Bill Young. A state trooper is dead after an overnight crash in Robinson County. Authorities say Master Trooper Stein Davis was on duty when he lost control of his cruiser, ran off NC Highway 130 and overturned in a swampy area. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The crash is still under investigation. A Moore County man is dead, shot by the FBI in the grounds of Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's house in Palm Beach, Florida. The man is identified as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin, who is from Cameron. He was killed by Secret Service when he entered a, quote, secure perimeter around 1:30 Sunday morning, holding what appeared to be a rifle and a gas can. Neither the president nor First Lady were there at the time. At the exact same time, a relative of Martin approached a Moore County deputy to report Martin missing. His name was subsequently entered into the National Missing Persons Database. Following the news of his death, the case was turned over to federal investigators. A statement from the sheriff's office reported there was no prior contact with Martin, and the sheriff's office in Moore County is not involved in the investigation. Obviously, a lot of information continues to emerge. Go to CBS17.com for continuing coverage, including the response from those in Moore County who are familiar with Martin. Now to some happy news, as the North Carolina Zoo is in the running to be the best zoo in the country. It's nominated in the USA Today 2026 Reader's Choice Award. It was nominated last year, too. Voting ends on March 9th. From the CBS 17 Newsroom, I'm Bill Young.
Today will become cloudy with breezy conditions and chilly temperatures with a high of only 48. Overnight will be partly cloudy with a low of 28, and Tuesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 50. After this chilly start to the week, our weather is going to remain active as we warm up again ahead of another cold front, which will bring in some showers and then yet another slight cool down. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, thank you so much. 32 right now. That's the number at Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and also in Godwin. You're listening to News Talk 640 with WFNC.
This report is sponsored by Fox One.
Fox News is now streaming live on Fox One. Get live coverage, in-depth analysis, and perspectives from the voices you trust, all in one place. Stream Fox News on Fox One. Download today.
Fayetteville's local news source. News Talk 640 WFNC. Say play WFNC wherever you get your audio.
In every community, there are moments when a helping hand makes all the difference. At Way 2 Real Community Center, those moments happen every single day in the heart of Fayetteville. As little ones grow, we're here for every step, from the computer lab to mental health support, music, and the STEAM program. And even the free clothing closet is always open. Way 2 Real is here to prepare your children for the future. No judgment, no barriers. Just support when needed most. To learn more about how Way 2 Real is empowering families, stop by 2400 Murkison Road or visit online at way2real.life. That's way2real.life.
My name is Troy McDuffie, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Ennis Wright. I'm here today to talk to the citizens about supporting me again. And I want you to vote for Troy McDuffie. Troy McDuffie, as you know, Spring Lake Police Department lost their police department. He went out there and built that agency back up. He has over 35 years experience in law enforcement. He's a fair man. He has integrity. He's very professional. And I just feel that he's the right one to lead that sheriff office.
Learn more about me, Troy McDuffie, at electtroymcduffie.com. Paid for by the committee to elect Troy McDuffie or sheriff.
Visit Valley Auto World Volkswagen for special offers on multiple models. Through March 2nd, qualifying customers can lease a 2026 Tiguan for as low as $289 a month for 36 months. Finance a 2026 Atlas with an APR as low as 2.9% for 60 months. Or get a $3,000 customer bonus if you qualify. For offer details, call 1-800-264-3212 or visit ValleyAutoWorldVW.com.
The second I see that Chick-fil-A text in the group chat, I'm throwing my shoes on and running out the door. Hey, I'm Layla.
And I'm Kaylin.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how it feels like an easygoing morning.
The chicken adds the most flavor. It's juicy and seasoned.
The biscuit is just very light and airy and fluffy, just like a cloud.
I also love to put jelly on mine so it's sweet and savory.
It's a good start to the day.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Good morning, Fayetteville with Gilbert Baez on WFNC.
I guess you wonder where I've been.
Well, here we are.
I searched to find the love within.
Don't get me started because that's my go-to karaoke song.
I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you.
Matt Henny, Paul Wolverton, CityView. I'm just going to say CityView. The CityView people are here. And, man, you know, we talk a lot off camera about all the stories that we can cover. Man, there's so much going on down here that there's really not enough room in the paper to print it on. Matt, how do you decide which ones you're going to say we're going to go with this?
You know, that's an interesting question because I have joked with Paul since I've started, usually at the end of the week, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot more news going on than I thought, and it's a really interesting, busy news town. So we sort of look at stories, we look at the 3 reporters we have, and see what else they're working on, and try to figure out what of all the stories we can do, what sort of fits the areas that they generally cover, which is education and local government are our big priorities.
You know, and then you throw in Fort Bragg, and then there's a nightmare there. You know, just gaining access to be able to cover. And Paul, have you noticed a difference in access at Fort Bragg, or do you cover that at all?
I don't get out to Fort Bragg a whole lot. I used to go somewhat regularly to cover courts martial when I was at the Fayetteville Observer and was a court reporter. Right now, I probably couldn't go on because I haven't got my real ID. I need to go out and get that.
Shame, Paul. You admitted that on the radio.
But we had Rachel out there Friday before last when
Donald Trump,
President Trump was here. Yeah. So she went out to be there and cover his appearance at the base.
Yeah, Rachel Hyman McCater.
Yeah, you ever cover President?
I've covered Donald Trump's appearances many times over the years. I was very glad to give Rachel a turn.
You know, it's a pain in the bundled undays because you have to be there at old dark 30.
Logistics are challenging.
Just to set up for somebody who's going to appear at 2 in the afternoon. But, you know, that's what we do. It's not really a complaint. It's just part of, is what we do. If you got the president coming to town, you got to make some adjustments for security.
Any presidential visit, if you're a reporter and you're going to go in person, it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And, I say that if you're a young person getting into the business, do it a few times. And it doesn't matter who the president is, it's always challenging. That's right. And I've covered probably 4 or 5 of them in the course of my tenure at 78. I didn't cover Jimmy Carter. So, any other president after 81, 85, both Bushes, I've seen them all, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. But look, and I'll share with you my presidential story at Camp Lejeune when President Clinton came another time off camera. Okay. Because it is hilarious. All right, let's get back to the business at hand here because Sharon Moyer is going to say, Gilbert, you're talking about everything except CityView. You gotta love Sharon. As a matter of fact, she sent me a note about something that I needed to get on, and she get me the phone number and everything for the person I need to talk to, and bam, we had an interview just like that. So Sharon knows everybody. Sharon Moyer she works for our company. We're part of a bigger company called the Assembly, and Sharon now works for the Assembly and is in charge of, I'm not sure how to describe it, basically helping us raise money and help us make connections throughout the community. I think that's a fair way to say it. Well, we were talking about who would fill in for me if I take the Super Bowl off or something, and Sharon's name came up. I think she'd do a fine job. Yeah, she would. I think she would. All right, we'll let her know. Okay, all right. Back to the American hand. She's
You're just trying to get bread. You're just trying to get some of this fresh bread. Yeah, Sharon's bread.
We do again. Okay, come on. Speaking of fresh bread, what do you got on your screen there? For those of you who don't know, CityView comes here every other week to talk about many of the stories. They do a great job covering this area. And so you have your 3 reporters spread out. You got stories there. And whenever I read one of your stories, I always give credit to the reporter that covers it. A lot of journalists won't do that. But I'm just not going to plagiarize your stuff. I'm going to say, hey, this person wrote this. I'm going to give you a synopsis. Go to the paper, and you can see it and read it. And that's how we should really be about this. Or go to our website, CityViewNC.com. Exactly. But, we appreciate the credit. A lot of places, you're right, don't always give credit. The story on my screen right now, Public Works Commission, Fayetteville Public Works Commission is going to meet Wednesday morning at 8:30 to consider increasing electricity prices. Over the next 2 years, May 1st of this year, May 1st of next year. And each individual customer is unique, but they think the average residential customer over the next 2 years is going to see a 6.5% increase this year and another 6.5% next year, which is on top of the first 6.5%. When you do the full math on that, that comes to almost 13.5% rate increase over 2 years. And that's coming... it's an unfortunate time for the PWC because we're coming off of a cold winter where people are getting these high bills and they're upset because their bills are so high because they've been running their heat for so much. I was at a party over the weekend, birthday party for a friend, and one of the people there was complaining how she keeps her thermostat at 64 degrees and her bill still went up. Wow, I said, 64.
I know, that's pretty
like my mom's house.
You're here at 64.
I know, but here's the thing.
My pipes would freeze over.
But she didn't understand. it was so cold for so long that, sure, you kept your apartment at 64 degrees, but your heater was running a lot longer than it normally runs if the weather weren't so cold outside. So that's why your bill goes higher. You got to understand that. But still, it's not, people still, you're more money out of your pocket. And it's coming as people are complaining about Duke having like a massive, I forget how many, was it 5 billion? I forgot the figure, but a big profit. And then, and also word came out late last week that Duke has this system for, they can raise your bill up if their fuel prices go up, and they can lower your bill down when the fuel prices go down. And several years ago, it came out, they miscalculated and they overcharged people, but a new law that the General Assembly passed just this past year says they don't have to pay it back.
Wow.
So people are not happy about that too.
Well,
and now
the little
here comes
guy,
the rate increase.
Yeah, the little guy always gets beat up
and
here.
seeing the Public Works Commission buys its power from Duke
Duke,
Energy.
that's right.
So, I wonder how much of that mistake in the rate a few years ago came to the Public Works Commission and then was filtered down to you and me.
Well, I hate when anything is filtered down to me, especially go back to the Comores thing, that you have the water that's being needs to be filtered and everything, and there was a suggestion that we have to pay, make an increase so we can clean the water.
Well, yes.
Well, how about charging Comores and let them pay the entire bill to clean the water, period? Next question. Thank you, sir. Back to you, David.
Well, so that you bring that up. So, the county is trying to expand and spending millions of dollars to expand public water to areas of the county that were contaminated from the PFAS chemicals that came out of that Comores factory down on the Bladen-Cumberland County line down on the south side in the Grays Creek area. People were finding this chemical in their drinking water wells, so the county is trying to expand public water to them so they don't have to deal with putting filters under their cabinets or buying bottled water, or Comores is providing a lot of people with the water and the filters. And the lawsuit, there's a lawsuit between the county commissioners sued Comores and DuPont. DuPont built the plant, and then Comores took over when DuPont spun off Comores as a separate company some years ago. And a judge in fall of 2025 ruled that, yes, Comores and DuPont caused a public nuisance. And the only question left for the jury to decide is how much do they pay? What do they do to alleviate this problem? And Comores and DuPont tried to appeal the case to the North Carolina Court of Appeals. And the North Carolina Court of Appeals this last, I think it was Thursday, said, we're not going to take that appeal. Go back to a trial and have a jury decide how much money to pay.
Well, whenever you're dealing with these cases like this, they can just linger for years and years.
Oh, yeah.
And during the course of that time, you have people with contaminated water.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of these filtration systems that they put on whole houses in order to accommodate the wells that have been contaminated. And that contamination is continuing to spread. It's in the groundwater. And, I live over in the other side of the river there.
Mm-hmm.
And when it started, it was Wilmington and down that way.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to spread back towards Eastover area. And so more and more areas are being contaminated, and you're waking up. Now, I have PWC water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think, the push even for
They're
these
building,
schools.
PWC is building I think it's $135 million filtration system on its water.
Well, it's going to be needed. And then...
Now, to be fair, by the way,
okay,
PFAS is everywhere. It's
That's
all
right.
over the world. And so, the PFAS chemicals that are coming into the PWC's water are probably not from the Comores discharge down the south side of the county, because PWC is upstream.
Well, people are paying more attention to them, and there's more monitoring going on of the wells, and the people are starting to see that those levels are starting to be on the rise.
Yes.
In our area. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, I haven't done the science on this one, didn't do a story on it, but we're all concerned about making sure that our water is safe for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened to Camp Lejeune. Look what happened up in Chicago. I mean,
In Detroit, yeah.
Sure, that's right. It was Detroit. You can, once you get your water, the Cape Fear River, we're talking about taking water out of that, and that's a whole different story. But I don't want to run out of time, because you did good work on the story about Station 4. Two parts of that story. You want to share that a little bit of that for us, Matt?
Yeah. So the city has been building this new fire station, Fire Station 4, and has encountered problems after problems after problems. In terms of the construction, they halted construction when it was about 60% built. For $4 million or so had been spent on it, and entangled in this lawsuit with the builder and a lot of other vendors associated with the project. City Council recently voted to, after they got a study that talked about the severity of the structural problems with the partially built station, opted to follow the recommendation of the consultants and vote to tear it down and start over. And then the other piece of that is the lawsuit that's been going on for quite some time. Last week, all the parties involved agreed to go to mediation, put the lawsuit on the back burner while they see if they can mediate their way through all these legal issues.
Yeah, Rachel covered. What's her last name?
Hyman McCater. Yeah.
McCater. Yeah, she wrote the story that's in the February 19th edition, so you can read the whole story there about the Fayetteville drops the fire station for lawsuit amid plans for mediation is the story that she wrote. So it goes into great detail about that whole process then. But now we're talking about tearing it down and starting it up. Who wrote something about that portion of where it's going?
Rachel did.
She did that also.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rachel's kind of our
saga.
our primary person on that.
All right.
But yeah, so the lawsuit was supposed to go to trial in I think March 23rd.
We have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, and the parties wanted to postpone it until I think July of 2027, more than like 15 months from now or more. I guess, they said we have so much discovery and so much research to do to get ready for trial. And the judge said, no, we're going to trial March 23rd. So everybody said, okay, well, let's just officially technically drop the lawsuit. They dismissed the lawsuit, but it can be refiled. And since they dropped the lawsuit, then the trial is off, and now they've got time. They've got a year to mediate or otherwise do their research. And if they can't come to an agreement, then they'll file a lawsuit again.
All right, Matt HENNIE and Paul Wofverton, we always appreciate you coming in. We will always give you the chance to give the spiel.
CityViewNC.com. You can read us every day for free, CityViewNC.com. And also you can go to our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. We'll deliver you the news 6 days a week at 6:30 a.m. Also completely free. Go to CityViewNC.com and click on the subscribe button, and you can fill in your email address, and you'll be good to go.
Man, you got to love this guy, don't you? He just rattles his
He's great. I mean, he knows the pitch, and we get 6 days a week. We get started almost as early as you do.
Well, look, I started at 3 in the morning. I get up every morning at 3 and start perusing and seeing what's out here so we can know what's happening in our community. And we are the guys and gals who take this. It's an undertaking, but it's a commitment to our community to make sure people are aware of what's happening beyond the shootings, beyond the murders and all that stuff. There's an awful lot of good stuff happening in this community as well. So
Absolutely.
We appreciate you sharing your time with us and all that stuff. Thank you again. We'll see you in 2 weeks. And we'll do it all over again.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got local weather right now with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Today will become cloudy with breezy conditions and chilly temperatures with a high of only 48. Overnight will be partly cloudy with a low of 28, and Tuesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 50. After this chilly start to the week, our weather is going to remain active as we warm up again ahead of another cold front, which will bring us some showers and then yet another slight cool down. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Right now, 32 degrees, Fayetteville, Hope Mills, and Fort Bragg. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com. Then sit back and relax.
Fayetteville's first in news and information for 4 decades. News Talk 640 WFNC.